What's up, everybody? Just wanted to make a quick video to sort of introduce the channel that I'm starting right now, and just give you a little backstory on why I'm starting this channel, why I'm doing this video in the first place. I am currently, as we speak, detoxing off methadone, using Kratom. Last Tuesday was the last time I went to the clinic, the methadone clinic. I go every Tuesday. I get 6 take-homes, and so tomorrow will be the day that I go, and I'm not going. So a little backstory is I got hit by a car skateboarding in San Francisco, got injured, ended up on pain medication, which quickly they switched me over to methadone because it was like a longer lasting, so I didn't have to keep taking it. But they also did that without explaining to me that methadone and opiates, like just pain pills in general, are different as far as the withdrawals are concerned. Had I known that back in the day when they started me on it, would have never started taking it. So then anyway, a lot of stuff happened in between, and I ended up eventually at my local methadone clinic, and that's where I was until last Tuesday. Tomorrow I would be going back, like I said, but I'm not. I called my clinic today to tell them, but of course it's impossible to get a hold of people there, so I left a message with the front desk lady. Anyway, so my first attempt was probably like a year and a half ago now, and I did a taper. I tapered down, but I tapered down really quick, because even then I was so sick of being on this stuff that I was so excited at the thought of finally being off of it that I'm an impatient person naturally. So when it came to that taper, it was just like, you have to taper slowly with methadone. It sucks, and you get to a point where, like I did recently, where you kind of have to just draw the line and say, okay, this is far enough. And I think with each person it's different. For me, I was never really on that high of a dose, so it was more important for me to get down to a lower dose, because like I said, like 55 was the highest I was ever on, I think. But I know some people, they jump off at 30 and they're fine using Kratom. But the whole point is, without Kratom, it would be impossible. Last time I tried using Kratom, but the difference between this time and the last time that I tried using Kratom to detox off the methadone was, this time I spent a good 2 or 3 weeks while tapering, before I decided to actually stop taking the methadone. I spent 2 or 3 weeks sort of experimenting with the Kratom, experimenting with doses. I would take my methadone at 6 a.m. and then I wouldn't take the Kratom until like 4 or 5 p.m. And I started to realize that, like, I would take it and I wouldn't feel anything. Like, there was no like wave of euphoria or anything. There was nothing. But all of a sudden I realized I'm sitting here and everything doesn't seem so bad. And like all of a sudden I'd be like, oh, like I kind of want to do something, or whereas on just the methadone I never want to do anything. So spending that time experimenting with the Kratom beforehand was, I think, what actually made me successful on the second attempt. Not only that, but I also tapered slower on the second attempt, and I tapered lower on the second attempt. And I think that's like, oh, sorry. I hear a lot of people talk about, or I see in like YouTube comments of other videos about Kratom and stuff, that, oh, I tried Kratom, or my husband tried Kratom, it didn't work for him, And I think a lot of people are looking for that like opiate euphoria. And although I think if you're, a totally clean, healthy person and you take enough Kratom, it does do that for you. But I've yet to ever experience that. The only thing it does is, and I don't even believe when, I've seen other people say this, and I didn't believe, I'm like, how's that possible? But like, I can literally take a big dose of it and not feel at any point like something is different, other than the withdrawal symptoms going away. and not being there. And I stay ahead of them. I don't sit around and wait till I start to feel shitty and then take it. So I think that's, like I said, the slower and lower taper, and giving your time to experiment, rather than waiting until the day of that you stop taking the methadone and going to a head shop and trying to figure out what to take. Take some time ahead of time to figure out your dose. When you get that low on methadone, the kratom will start to work. It won't work as well as when you're completely off, but it will work, and you can kind of start to see, oh, I need more or I need less, wherever you need to be. And really the key is to just, once you get off and you start taking the kratom, just pay attention to your body and adjust your dose accordingly, and just take it day by day without looking too far ahead. I know on my first day, which was Tuesday was the last day I took the methadone. Wednesday I woke up feeling like shit, like every day. Took the kratom, still didn't really feel great, but after a few doses of kratom throughout the day, I think it kind of builds up in your system and it starts to make you feel a little bit better. And just waking up in general makes you feel better too. So I think also there are a lot of people that methadone helps. It's not a horrible drug in the sense that it does it helps people accomplish things in their lives, but for me, it was never really the case. I wasn't like a spiraling out of control drug addict when I got on methadone. I was someone who liked to party a lot and stuff, and I look at it too, like the path I was on, it was probably good I got on the methadone when I did, but had I known what I know now about methadone, what it does to your body, and like I've been on it for like all of my adult life, because I got on it around 18 or 19 and I'm 35 now, so I've been on it forever. And it was just the clinic was also a great place to be for trying to get off of it, as weird as that sounds, because they can control your taper a lot better than with the liquid than you can with a pill. And not only that, I was forced to go to groups and stuff, and I didn't know anyone on methadone. I didn't have like a bunch of friends, that I hung out with that did drugs or got on methadone, so I didn't really know a lot about it. And it was good once I got to the groups that I figured out that, like, shit, this is not just me, this is everybody going through the same stuff. I mean, everybody is like a zombie regardless of what dose you're on. I mean, obviously the higher dose you're on, it's more physically visible, but you're a zombie mentally, emotionally, and you have no motivation to do anything. So it's like I feel like I lost a big chunk of my life being on methadone. But like I said, it's not to say that the path I was on, I could have ended up dead or something from. So it's a give and take. But I know that, like I said, if there would have been some kind of waiver or something, as silly as it sounds, that says like, look, this stuff is like the equivalent to like chemotherapy as far as what it does to your body. It just beats you down. I didn't even know for a long time that the symptoms I was having were from the methadone. It's just like, because for a long time I was on it from a doctor and I was told that's what I should be on, and it was the right thing to be on, and it was the right thing to do. So yeah, it's tough getting off the methadone, but it's definitely worth it. You just gotta be at a place where you want to be off of it, really. I mean, that's the main thing, is the want and desire to get off of it. And then you gotta have the kratom. You gotta, like, I mean, you can go on and do your own research. There's people that do the taper all the way down to 0, and when they get there, it's hell, just as much as it was if they didn't taper. So, or tapered quickly or whatever. But I know that there's no way to, like, just for someone that's been on it for a long time, there's no way to taper down to nothing and be like, oh, I'm fine. It's not going to work that way. you got to taper down slowly, do it as slow as you can, and just push through that time, knowing that there's an end goal. And then, like I said, take some time to experiment with the kratom beforehand, and it works. You know, it really does work. It's been pretty painless for me the last 6 days. Day 1 through 6 now have all pretty much been the same. There hasn't been much of a difference. You know, and I feel like most people talk about, you know, once they get sort of past day 10, that's where you're kind of on the upslide. Of course, pause is a thing, and I have a plan for that as well. A lot of people just suffer through pause and don't like take anything, and I'm always like, well, if you're depressed, why not get an antidepressant? You don't even have to be on an antidepressant for life. You know, you can take that for a short. There's lots of things you can do. So don't suffer through it, because that's how you end up back at the clinic. I was just watching one guy's video. He had like 6 months under his belt from methadone, completely clean, and he was suffering so bad from the post-acute withdrawals that he went back to the clinic after 6 months. And it's like, wow, you know, there's so many other things you could have done to help yourself. So I'm gonna make some more videos. This was really just like an introductory video to my channel, to what it's gonna be about. But I'm gonna make some more videos on exactly what I take, how I take it. When I say how I take it, the main thing is these bad boys right here. Without these, I couldn't do it. That's another thing that on my first attempt to get off methadone, I did not know about oblates. And if you know about kratom, it is like taking a handful of dirt from the alley behind your house and shoving it in your mouth if you try and just take it straight up. I don't care what anybody says, chocolate milk, orange juice, there's nothing that makes it taste better. It is so, the flavor is so potently strong and overwhelming that, like, no, I've thrown up a few times just in the past few days from these oblates when I don't do it right. If they break open in my mouth, and it's like, oh, it's just disgusting. So it literally makes me vomit, not just like spit stuff out, but vomit. So, but these oblates are amazing. So I'm gonna do a video on how to use these and as well. So yeah, just stay tuned. Leave some comments, questions, whatever. I am obviously not that busy right now, so I'll get back to you right away. Please like and subscribe so I can get the ball rolling on this channel and get more people involved, because the whole point is to help people by getting the information out there, making life a little bit easier. If I had a video in my first go around like this that explained, you know, the important things, I probably would have been successful, but I didn't. So I did research on kratom, but not on using kratom to get off methadone. So anyway, like I said, please like, subscribe, and keep a lookout for the next video, which should be coming at you very soon. Thanks.